Hello and welcome to this tutorial that takes you through some of the basics of using Hawaiki AutoSplit, the new split screen plugin for Adobe Premiere Pro and After Effects, Apple's Motion 5, Final Cut Pro 10 and Final Cut Pro 7. Built on the legacy of the popular and acclaimed Tokyo Split animator, Hawaiki AutoSplit is simply the best plugin for split screen creation and animation that you can buy. The operation is the same in all of the host applications, but let's take a look at how it works in Final Cut Pro 10. The plugin comes complete with two separate effect modules, Classic and Extended. Let's start with Classic. Unlike other split-screen plugins which offer a limited set of fixed-value boxes, AutoSplit Classic allows you to set the scale, crop and hold position of your box to literally any value. But most of the time you'll find that you can use the built-in presets to create exactly what you want. I've got 4 clips stacked up on my timeline. To keep things simple, I've muted them all, and I'll be unmuting them as I go. I'd like to go for this grid arrangement with 3 boxes along the top and 1 large one across the bottom. So I'll drag the C1 module to each of the 3 lower clips on the timeline. In the inspector, I'll use the X position slider to move the second one to the middle of the screen and the third one to the right. Then I'll use the Y position slider for each of them to move them to the top row. And I'll add the C4 module to the top clip and leave it at its default position. Finally, I'll use the image offset sliders to reposition the images within their respective boxes to get exactly the framing I want. And I'll use the image scale to push in a little on the action. Now let's suppose I wanted a more interesting grid arrangement. With any other plugin, I'd have to start again with new versions of the effect, but with AutoSplit, all I have to do is make a few quick and easy adjustments, and in no time at all, I've got something completely different. One of the great features of AutoSplit is that if there's a box shape that you use frequently, you can use the presets loader to save it off for later use. Okay, now for some animation. Here's where the real power of AutoSplit comes into play, because all you have to do is select an arrive and depart option from the pop-up menus, meaning you can instantly add or change an animation without having to think about keyframing. And you can have any of your boxes fade in and or out by checking the fade options. Setting up a complex animation couldn't be simpler. Now let's take a quick look at AutoSplit Extended, which gives you a wide range of custom shapes for making some really great looking split screens. I'll apply the effect to my clip, which gives me this default shape, but I can easily go to the Shape Selection menu and choose from the wide range of options. I'll then fill in the grid using the appropriate shapes, which I'll flip and flop as necessary to make them fit. The extended module makes it easy to take your split screens to a whole new level. Finally, let's take a look at some of the really fun stuff you can do with borders in AutoSplit. In addition to the usual solid border color, you can check the border gradient switch to enable a 2-color gradient. Adjusting the gradient center and rotation gives you a lot of control over the look. You can even composite the border over the picture in a variety of different ways using the Border Blend Mode menu. And there's lots of control over the corner roundness. If I choose, I can adjust the inner and outer roundness independently for some really great looks. And lastly, when I've got roundness applied, I can also adjust the softness of both the inner and outer edges of the border, again independently. Put all that together and you've got serious amounts of control over the border style. And don't forget, that if you come up with a unique look that you really like, you can save it as a preset. Hawaiki AutoSplit gives you more power and flexibility than any other split screen plugin on the market, and it's incredibly quick and easy to use, giving you loads more time to be as creative as you want. AutoSplit is available through Effects Factory, which means you can download a fully functional free trial version and experience it for yourself right now.